Hey everyone, it's Nathara, or I guess, because of life circumstances, I guess I'm gonna start going by my given name, which is a very weird circumstance for me. So you guys have, if you've been around the channel for a while now, you probably already know my given name is Charlene, and yeah, I don't usually like to be a person on the internet. Hi, Alcira, how are you? I'm so excited to not be by myself here. As you can probably see in my description, I have been meaning to do videos a lot more consistently for a while, but I overthink it. So instead of overthinking it like usual, I just decided, why not do an unplanned live? Why not just do that and see what happens when I do? And so that's what I'm doing. I thought it would be fun and we would just see who shows up. And if nobody showed up, then I would just ramble by myself for a little while. So, yeah. So, I would love to hear how you're doing as well. Catch up a little bit. But as I was saying, I'm going to try moving away from Nathara and start using my actual given name. I started teaching meditation classes this last week. And so I am using my given name for those classes, and I would like my online self and my meditation teaching classes self to be the same self. And so in order to keep that consistent, I'm gonna have to be using my given name, and it feels weird and I don't love it, but I did it before when I was working with We Witches 3, so I know I can do it. It's just not my favorite thing, and it's going to feel weird to be using my actual name on the internet. I've been on the internet since like 1993, I think, and I've never used my given name before, and so it feels weird, and I don't love it, except for like a little while on Facebook because they required the real names. But yeah, have not loved it before, so now we're giving it another shot. We're going to see how it goes. And if I hate it, I'll figure something else out. But, it's a big internet, and a lot of people have been on it for a long time. So why not, right? So would love to hear how you're doing if you want to put that in the chat. I am in between semesters. I just finished up my spring semester of school, first semester being back in 20 years, and it was a lot. I have 2 weeks off, and then I will start my summer semester. And that is not enough of a break, frankly, but it's what I get. And so in that 2 weeks, I will not be resting because that's not a thing that I do. And instead, I started a meditation class at a yoga studio just east of where I am. It's at the like the gateway to Yosemite. So I get to drive up there once a week and teach a meditation class, and I'm very much looking forward to it. The drive is beautiful. The view is amazing. And I love meditation. So even though like when you teach a meditation class, you don't actually get to do a whole lot of meditating yourself, it will remind me that I need to take time to do meditation on my own, which will be good for me. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It'll be nice. And at least the drive itself is meditating. I love driving. I listen to my music way too loud while I do it, which is kind of like a combination of meditation and sound healing. So I get to have my car time. I love car time. And so very much looking forward to that. And then in 2 weeks, I start school again. So that will be chaos. Yeah. It's so much. What else is going on? I also think that I'm going to join I need to send them a message still, but I think I'm going to join this art mentorship program that I found the other day to get back into photography. Like, I think everyone here who follows my channel knows that I used to do a lot of like hot rods and pinups and horror photography. And, but I'm moving more into like landscapes, nature, and fine art, but I'm not great at it. So I think I'm going to join an art mentorship program to kind of like learn how that works more. I really want to move out of like what I've been doing the last couple of years, which is more tech oriented, and I just don't feel like it feels good. So I'm moving back more towards art and intuitive work. The kids are 21 and 16 now. Oh my goodness. Why is time like that? How does that happen? That's gotta be heckin' weird, man. Wow. What are they up to? They've got it. They're practically adults, but also still tiny little children. That has got to be the weirdest cognitive dissonance ever. That has got to feel strange. I can't even imagine. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Second year of U of A. Amazing. Wow. Okay. I remember the U of A. That is such a good school too. Well done to your daughter. That's fantastic. Gosh, second year already. That is mind-blowing. I'm so impressed. Well done. Well done getting her there. And you must be so proud. And school is hard. It's not like it was 20 years ago. This is some hard stuff to do. Like, I know my teachers have been throwing at me so much stuff. There's so much reading and so much. It's basically all just like reading and essays. And I feel like when I went to the U of A, there was like worksheets and stuff that I had to fill out and like short answer for. Like, it was high school all over again. But I feel like college is very different anymore. And it's a lot harder. I mean, harder and less. Yeah, it doesn't feel like high school this time around. So the reading is a lot more academic. So it feels like a lot. I mean, it's nice. I like it more than I did before, but if it was still high school again, I would be very upset. But um, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. And I feel like the teachers aren't messing around at all. There's like no patience in my classes. But yeah, does she know what she wants to do? Like what she's aiming at? Like career wise? Because I can't even if I had no idea what I wanted to be doing when I was 21. Like, I think, what was I doing when I was 21? What was I even doing with my life? I had just moved to Arizona when I was 21. And I couldn't go to school yet because I wasn't a resident. Um, so what was I doing? I was still finishing my associate's degree. Economics. Oh, economics is hardcore. That's not easy. That is so much math. And also, economics is a crazy field to try to study. There are so many theories and complex like social dynamics and um, economic theory is, in my opinion, economic theory is really complicated and weird. Like, it's so much more complicated than like philosophy and psychology, which is what I focused on the first time I went to college. So yeah, that is so much to be working on right there. And it feels very, very complex. I've tried reading up on economic theory, and it feels very, I don't know, it just doesn't make that much sense to me. I'm working on, I've been studying interdisciplinary studies, which feels like a confluence of like social justice and decolonization and psychology as well, which is, um, yeah, it's a lot of different stuff going on. It's just a lot of social theory. And it feels like, um, so my foundation for my associate's degree was like 20 years ago. And so my current bachelor's degree studies, it's like 20 years later. And I actually found out when I enrolled now that I have like a class I have to go back and get a credit for that is now required for an associate's degree that was not required when I got mine, which is interesting and a little frustrating. So I have to like take that now since it's going to be required for me to get my bachelor's degree. But I do feel like there's like this weird gap where maybe if I was getting an associate's degree now, or if I was getting my bachelor's degree now from scratch without my associate's degree, like I wouldn't have this gap in just like general theoretical knowledge. Like my knowledge base would be a lot more updated. So I feel like there's this gap in information that I'm having to overcome that I just missed out on over the last 20 years. But the frustrating thing is I'm discovering all these theories that were developed in like the 1970s and the 1980s that I still didn't even learn about in high school or college. And I'm only learning about them now. So I feel like something was kind of robbed from me. But two jobs and studying economics, that feels like a really rough way to learn about economics. It's so much. You must be really proud. But yeah, so for me, I'm looking at enrolling in that art mentorship thing to kind of get my fine art photography more in line and like landscapes and nature photography. And then, yeah, kind of move out of that technical, like rational space and more into like an intuitive art space. Hopefully, I can get that going before my next semester starts. Otherwise, we're doing a lot of focus on like health and wellness and trying to get that more on track here. And I'm hoping to get more content going here on YouTube. You guys might have to deal with a lot more unpolished lives like this while I'm getting things more, I don't know, into a rhythm and more set up and kind of get myself back on track without overthinking things. That class that I mentioned that I have to go back and take in order to fulfill the requirements of my bachelor's degree because it wasn't included in my associate's degree. And when I got my really old associate's degree from 20 years ago, was art, the art of communication. And I'm kind of hoping that helps me with my YouTube channel and my general content. I don't know if everyone is still on YouTube or not, or if everyone has migrated to like TikTok or something like that. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like while TikTok is really entertaining, it just doesn't feel the same as it did, like before. So I think this is going to be my primary platform for video creation still. And I'm going to revive my website and try to keep that updated as well. I wrote this essay on, I've actually been writing a lot of essays. I think I mentioned that already in school. And I think I'm going to put my essay on somatic practice, somatic practices for chronic pain up on my website because we go over a lot of like acupuncture and yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong in that one. And I think that would be really useful information for people to have because I had no idea. I learned so much doing that essay about how useful and healthy those kind of mindfulness-based practices and different somatic practices are managing chronic pain. And I went through this whole experience where like I didn't know that what I would consider like alternative healing was recognized by the medical field as legitimate medical practices that insurance companies are actually covering now. So I think that's really important health information to have. And so since I wrote it, I'm going to go ahead and just put it up on my website, make it available as well. So, and then I also did an essay on AI and marketing because I do have the software development, IT administration in my background as well, which is what I've kind of been focusing on the last few years. And so I'll probably go ahead and include that on my website as well. So you guys are going to get some like really long form written content as well. I don't know if anyone's doing long form content anymore, but I wrote it and I want it to go somewhere. I don't want it to just like disappear into the like musty, crusty digital files that my professors are keeping or whatever. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and share those on my website. So at least I can refer back to them at some point, and then maybe some other people can find them useful as well. And then, yeah, I think that'll be interesting. So revive the website, revive the YouTube channel, probably do it really messy at first, like this live is right now. And then I want to get back into talking tarot and like form the community again. I've picked up some mentorship. I'm doing some mentorship through a community that I found on Discord. So I really want to help get that kind of like tarot practice out. I've noticed that the tarot community is getting like really academic and people are getting really kind of the same way I am about doing videos, like in their heads about it. And like there's a lot of hesitation to read for other people, or at least when they're reading for other people, it's very on this like high level, hard to get into that practical space with doing tarot readings. And so people are struggling in like making it really real and applicable to life. So I want to help people figure that out and maybe do some Q&As on that and like spirituality. I know that when it comes to reading books and things, it's hard to like take that information and apply that to real life. And how do you like work a full moon practice into your real life, and how do you handle candle magic and make sure you do it with cats and that kind of thing. So I want to get back into talking to that kind of thing, and then just have some fun and do some tarot readings. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this short little stream here in a couple minutes. But if you want a quickie little tarot reading, pop your question in the chat, and we'll get it done real quick. And then I think after that, I'm probably gonna head off to dinner. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot more. I think we're gonna have a lot more rambling conversations on here because I don't know how to do it any other way. So y'all are just gonna have to deal with that. And then on the website, like I said, you guys are gonna see blog posts again, but also probably a lot of my school essays as well. And there's nobody here any longer, so I am just going to sign out. Bye now.